He just got to keep being the good boxer he is and outpointing his opponents.
Do like was it something where Devin trying to stop Kambosos, or was it just like, was he trying, or did he think he had it won? Like, what did you see when you like in that?
I think he wanted to stop him. I think Devin wanted to stop Kambosos just to show the boxing world that he could punch and he could stop somebody of that caliber. Because if you look at the first fight, Devin stayed on the outside. The jab was his most important punch in that fight. He didn't throw the amount of jabs in this fight. He threw more right hands.
Right.
I think he was attempting to make a statement and wanted to stop Kambosos. I really believe he wanted to stop him. A few times he had him a little bewildered. He had him, but he could not finish it. I think he really wanted to stop him in this fight, but he couldn't.
Yeah. I concur. I think it was a point in time where he almost did, and then Kambosos kind of got on his bike, and Devin was like, well, shoot, I ain't gonna chase you around now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You basically conceded the victory. I think it was around 11 where I think he kind of broke parts of Kambosos' will, but his pride just kept him trying to go in there, and he was just getting his face all beat up, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm often tough, but I'm always tough. It's just like when we got to, I'm about to ask you about your guy, you know what I'm saying, the guy who really impressed me. But I'm often tough on him, and it's only because of the opposition. But every time, because when I look at people and what they're doing, and I do look at triangle theory, when I look at people and what they're doing to common opponents and things like that, I look at, okay, are they able to impose their will? And you have to consider the level of opponent, because how many times have you seen guys where, they just breezing through everybody, and the first time they get to somebody that can really box them, a la Wilder Fury, like the minute that happens, it's like, oh snap, what was this? It was like, okay, so I always look at the competition, and I think Kambosos, because you said that caliber of opponent, I mean, he beat Tio, and I guess he got Mickey Bay, Lee Selby. But I look at the level of competition. So I mean, I salute Dev for his victory. But I was excited. Speaking on Triangle Theory, I was excited about Naoya Inoue, the monster. And you had been telling me about him, and I was a victim of listening to people and how they talk. And again, I was a hard critic, because I'm like, man, it's hard enough trying to learn about women's boxing and what's going on, and keeping up with these prospects and touching on who the amateurs are, and then the who's who in boxing in the biggest fights, staying on top of that, like especially creating content, you kind of get lost. But when it comes to Inoue, I was listening to people say, oh man, this guy's from over there, and like he's fighting tomato cans and this and this and that, but that's not true, because he had Donaire and the guy that fought Gary Antonio, and this guy just was sitting there, and he kind of picked my man apart. It was kind of hard for me to watch, and I called it all the way through. I read out the scorecard before the man even announced it, and I said, yeah man, in the head clash, but Naoya Inoue fought Emmanuel Rodriguez, and he stopped him with a body shot. And when the referee,
listen, that guy, his arsenal of punches, he can stop you to the body, he can stop you to the head, he can stop you by just accumulation of punches, and he's staying right there. He do not run. He's staying right there, and he can go flat-footed with the best fighters in his weight class. The only problem is that where he started out in his weight class, you don't have a lot of American fighters that fight at those smaller weights. So usually you're going to see a lot of Filipino, Japanese, you're going to see a lot of foreign guys at that weight. So therefore, you don't see much of Naoya Inoue. The only way to really critique what he has done as a fighter is you have to go on YouTube, pull him up, look at Naoya Inoue highlights, the best of Naoya Inoue, and then you can kind of critique his career from beginning to where he's at now, and just watch the way he fights.
So
I see in this guy, I don't see flaws in his fighting, and I don't see where he needs drastic improvement in no part of his boxing ability, because he seems to be able to dominate at the smaller weight. And each time he moved up in weight, he moved up maybe 3 times, and he has not lost punching power. He is beating people the same way he did at his previous weight class. I don't see no difference in this guy. And until other guys can like move up in weight class and move up and show the same type of power, that's why I have to put this guy in the pound for pound category. Now, is he the best pound for pound? That's questionable. But what he has done from one weight class to another, he's definitely has to be mentioned in the pound for pound class. And guess what? If he was an American fighter, he would probably be close to number 1. But we don't see enough of them.
Yeah, like,
and America don't see enough of them.
Yeah, what I was thinking is, like you said, you can go watch his highlights, and if you look and see who he fought, you can go and like actually look at the whole fight. That's the way to be able to do it. It's gonna take some leg work, but that's how you really would do it. But you know me, the fight that I think you said, the fight that he faced the most adversity, because I want to ask, you know, it's a lot of time where people are comfortable with doing what they want to do. Has he faced anybody that really didn't allow him to do what he wanted to do, or anybody that really was like, who gave him his most adversity is what I'm saying? Who he faced?
Okay. Based on his record as being undefeated, okay, I'm gonna have to answer no to that, because the man is an undefeated fighter. Nobody has come close to even getting a split decision on him, and he just outclasses everybody. I guess you would have to look early in his career, as when he was building himself up, to find fights where they were extremely close. In the latter stages of his career where he's at now, the only person that gave him a real tough fight was Naoya in the first fight. But Naoya still handily lost that fight.
But what did he do?
Inoue came back in the second fight and just punished him.
But what did he do though? What did Naoya do? Like when he had that success, what did he do?
Okay, he was able to box with Inoue and punch, and he swole Inoue up a little bit. But in a good hard fight, that's what happens, you know.
Yeah.
And we have to take into respect that Naoya is a Hall of Fame fighter.
Right.
So he fought a man who was at the top of the weight class. Okay, that's almost like taking Bud and Spence and putting them together in a fight And it's gonna, it's a tough fight. But if one person loses, but they don't get knocked out,
right,
they haven't lost anything,
right,
but the fight. They haven't lost anything but the fight. And when Inoue fought Naoya, it was Naoya's career that was at the top of the heap. Right. He was the true champion that people are saying, okay, this is going to be a test here for Inoue. Naoya is the man that could possibly stop him, but he wasn't able to. And then in the second fight, he knocked him out. So Inoue, in my viewpoint, is the truth.
So let me ask you this though: what do you say to the critics or somebody that would say, well, Donaire, man, a younger Donaire or something, or is that just like imaginary chit chat? Like, what would you say to somebody like for a younger Donaire? Like, would that fight look any different? Because some people say it was a little long in the tooth. That's the only thing about that.
Well, you know how boxing is. It's difficult to match guys up when both of them are not in their prime together.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I think a prime Donaire with a prime Inoue, I think Inoue wins the fight.
Still, that's a statement, and I agree. But see, that's why I appreciate how you look at everything, because that's the logic behind this. You can't imagine some of the conversations I be hearing and some of the people that be speaking on these things, and they don't consider that. It's like if they don't rock with him, they don't get no credit for whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you don't get no credit because he was past it or because they was homeboys or some shit like that. So I mean, I appreciate that mindset, and I give him credit. Like I said, I'm a believer, man. When I seen, because I did my homework and I said that Gary Antonio had to be looking at that guy Emmanuel Rodriguez like food, because he seen this man quit. He seen this man say no when he had time to get up and stand up. He seen this man said no, and it was because of the monster. And I was like, man, then when I seen what Emmanuel Rodriguez did to my man, the combination god, I was like, wow, that's when I said, man, my boxes to watch collection, I gotta get on it. And I was like, man, my old head's been telling me. He been trying to told me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a believer, man. I'm a believer.
Inoue stopped people every aspect of fighting. He beats people will down, to which they go down and they look up and they just not gonna fight anymore. He have hit people with body shots. They go down, they can't get up. He hits people in the head, knock them down, they get up. The worst thing you could do in a fight is be injured by Inoue, because he comes after you. He comes after you, and it's hard to survive his attack because his boxing ability is so good that if you're looking not to be hit by his right hand, then he throws a hook. The hook is devastating. If you elude the hook and he throws the combination and hits you with the right hand hurts you. And all of his punches are thrown the way you supposed to throw a punch. He never looked like he comes from left field with any punch. Every punch is thrown accurate, and his timing is so good, his leverage is good, that the punches he hits you and hurts you with, they don't look like knockout style punches. But his leverage is such that there's so much power in these punches that I don't really see real flaws in the way he fights. And I don't see where he has to go to the drawing board and improve in any aspect of his fight. Because everything he's doing is working well for him. And until he gets in there and somebody can beat him, I don't see him having to drastically improve on nothing as far as his ability.
Has he ever touched the canvas?
Nope.
He's never
He's
touched
he's a tough guy. Nope. He's never been knocked down. And it's not because he runs from anybody. He don't run. He don't run. He stand right there in front of you. He moves side to side. He punch. Most fighters who fight Inoue usually are moving side to side, backing up, moving away from him. They don't stand toe to toe and punch with him. He's just an awesome puncher.
I gotta look
and it's hard to hurt him.
So defensively, is he in the line with Shakur? Like, what is because Shakur, like you think Shakur? How does Shakur defense measure? Just his defense, not to get off on Shakur, but just defensively.
I think Shakur's defense may be better than Inoue's because he has to be.